Hello friends, what if I told you there is a magic tool in CS that can instantly solve your layout problem, align your item perfectly, and make your design responsive with minimal code? Sounds too good to be true, right? But this is real, and it is called Flexbox. Today we are going to demystify Flexbox and show you step by step how to use it in your web project. But at the end of this video, you will like and feel like a layout wizard. Ready? Let's go. To use Flexbox, you need a container. Here is an example of basic HTML and CSS code. Okay, here we have a div with class container and 4 boxes over here with class box and ID bus 1, bus 2, bus 3, and bus 4. Yeah, let's put bus 4 here. Okay, there you go. So now we are going to use a Flexbox to align the best way we want all the items inside the container. That can be on the main axis or on the cross axis. Okay, so if we go to our CSS code over here, let's say we want to put all those items inside the container on the same line horizontally. How to do this? The magic happens when we use display flex. Okay, we're going to inside our class container here, and we use the property called display, and the value is gonna be flex. When we put flex, by default flex will align all the items we have here on the same line, meaning on the main axis. Okay, but we can also give direction to the way our items should be aligned inside our container. Over here for default, when the property display is in flex like a value, all will be horizontally. But when we give a flex direction, we use the property flex direction, and we set the direction to columns that we align all them vertically. Okay, but if we don't put this property flex direction, it still will be on the main axis. Okay, remember when you set the property display to flex on the container, it will be instantly on the horizontal line or in a row that is flex in action. Okay, even though you don't give the direction, flex direction property, it will be on the horizontally line. Remember the magic starts with a display flex on the container. Instantly the item inside line up in a row that is flex in action, meaning you don't need to put the flex direction. Like, let's put flex direction. Okay, if you put flex direction to row, you will not see any change, because display flex by default puts all your item on flex direction row position. Okay, so to manipulate Flexbox, we are going to use some property of container and property of the item inside our container. Meaning, in this video we are going to see some key property of flex container. Okay, if we say flex container is this, with the border right here, this border right here, this container, we are going to use some key property to manipulate how all the items inside this container are going to be aligned. Okay, we can align them maybe on the main axis horizontally or on the cross axis vertically. Even though we want to put them different way inside the container, those properties will help us to manipulate how the item will be inside our container. Okay, the first key property of the flex container we will talk about will be flex direction. As I say already in the beginning, the flex direction will help us to tell to our container how he's going to put all the item inside the container. If we set the flex direction to row, all the item will be on horizontal direction. But when we set to columns, they will come vertically. Okay, this is the first property. This property is only for the container where we put our items. Keep this in mind. Flex direction is used inside the class of your container. Okay, and it's gonna give the direction, the way all the items will be aligned inside your container. Now, the second key property of flex container we are going to use will be justify content. Okay, justify content. Now, with justify content, we got many ways to align our item. We can put that in the middle of our container, but don't forget, when you use this justify content, it's only for the main axis, meaning horizontally. Okay, justify content will help you to put your item maybe in the center around your horizontal line or the main axis. Okay, let's say we want them to be in the middle. So if we put center, you will see all our items align in the center of our container. Okay, so if you want your item to be aligned in the center horizontally inside your container, you have to put the justified content to center. Okay, now what about if we want all the items to be at the beginning here? How will you do that? It's very simple. You just put the justified content to flex start. Okay, when we put to flex start, we will see all the items will be aligned in the beginning of our container horizontally. Okay, now what about if you want to move all the items to the end of our container? But don't forget, justify content here just help us to align horizontally. Now we all our items will be horizontally, but if you want them to be at the end of our basic or our container here, we will just need to put, as we put flex star here, just change the star to end. When you change to the end, you will see all will move to the end. So remember, when we with this justified container, we see three main values here, okay, for the key property. So the first one will be center, to put in the mirror. The second one was flex start, to put in the beginning, and the flex end, to put in the end of our container horizontally. Never forget that. Okay, now let's say we want space between all the items. Okay, we still use justify content. Okay, and we put space between here. When we put space between here, we will have, you see, we got a space between all the item. But one problem, you see, when you use space between, it will give you same space between all the item, and put the first item to the begin, and the last one to the end. You see, over here we don't got any space between the beginning of your container and your first item. Same for the last one. But let's say we want space between the item and the beginning of our container. What can we do? Okay, we still use justify content to do that. We will put another key property. I will show you. Okay, here. Okay, now we will choose space around. Okay, when you take space around, that will give you, let's say, okay, you still got space between all the items, same space, and now same space from the beginning and the end. Over here we got this. If you look, you will see this space is equal to this one, and space between all the items, all those spaces are the same. You see the difference between justify content value, space around, and space between. Don't forget that. It's very important. You have to figure out how to make the difference between those two values. Now everything we have seen so far about the second property of container, the flex container, was to align horizontally. What about if you want to align all the items vertically? Okay, the property which can help us to achieve that will be align items. Okay, same like we did with justify content, we can use center like a value. If we set the value of align item property to center, let's see what will happen. Okay, you see, when we we set the value to center, you see what happened? All our item here come to the mirror vertically. Never forget that. Okay, vertically here. Before we align them in the center horizontally. Let me take off space specify content space around, and we put center. Okay, that will be easy for us to. There you go. Now We got all the item center here in the middle, okay? But if I take off justify content here, maybe that will help us to see. Okay, now we bring all the item to the middle of the cross axis. You see, the cross axis is the vertical one, so the item are in the middle of the cross axis. Before, we have put them at the middle of the horizontal, which was the main axis. Okay, now I'll show you why you are doing all those. Now in the end of this video, you will see how you can manipulate the flex boxes to make your layout responsive. Okay, for those who don't understand, responsive is how to make your website so it can look pretty good on all devices. Okay, now let's say we want those to be in the middle. Okay, if you bring back our justify content center, you will see what will happen. There you go. You see, it bring our items to the middle horizontal and the middle vertical. That means we put all the items where the horizontal cross the main axis, cross the cross axis. It will be in the middle. For those who know how to manipulate math, they can understand easily what I'm talking about. It's easy. Just put the item with justify content to the center of the horizontal line and put in the middle of the vertical one. That will take your item to the middle of your screen or to the middle of your container. There you go. There are many key property of flex container, but today we have see the main one: flex direction, justify content, align item. Those ones are used often in responsive web development. So now let's talk about the key property of flex item. Now that we have covered the container, let's look at property for the item themselves. It's very important you know all property which you can use only for the items. Like I told you, the justify content item, align item, flex direction are only for the flex container. Okay, now we will see those property which you will only use for the item inside your container. Okay, the first one we will talk about is flex grow. How flex grow is used. In this example, I'll show you how you can use flex grow to manipulate the form of your item inside your container. Okay, if we take the item 1, okay, the item 1 over here, we in the HTML code, we have the HTML code, we have the div with ID box 1 here. This is the first item. So let's say we want this first item to grow and cover the remaining space in our container. Okay, when we put flex grow, okay, and we set to 1. Let's see what will happen. You see that? That means this item will grow to cover the remaining space inside the container. You see that? Inside the container. So when I change this one, let's say I want the second one to grow, what will I do? I bring here, okay, you see that? That means all those 3 items will still keep the width, but the second one will grow to cover the remaining space. Okay, so this property is only for the item inside the container. Now let's say we want to change let's change the color, background color for this item to maybe red. Okay, now if we change the value of the flex grow to 2, what will happen? What will happen? It's true you don't see the difference here, but actually what happened is the item grown 2 times. Okay, the item grown 2 as much. You see that? And it depends of the width of the container. Okay, now let's keep back to 1. The second property, item property we are going to talk will be order. Okay, how to use order and how that work. Let's say we want to move the first item to the end position. Okay, so what are we going to do? We will target we use the ID with box 1, and we will put the order. Okay, let's say order to 4. Okay, you see that when we move the item to the end before we got 1 2 3 4, now we got 2 3 4 1. So this is one property you can use to manipulate the item inside your container. Okay, another key property of the item inside the container we will talk about now will be align self. How align self work? Let's say we want to put the item 3 here to the bottom of our container. So let's do box. Okay, we select nth children 2. Okay, and we set the align self to flex end. Align self to flex end. Okay, let's say that. Let's see what will happen. What happened? We got our 2. We bring him down to the bottom of the screen of our container. Okay, as I don't want to make this video so long, those are some key property we can use to understand how Flexbox work. So but if you need to get this understanding of Flexbox, the way Flexbox work, you can go to this website. You see this website, I see a lot here which can help you to master the Flexbox. We got many things here which can help you. Just go to www.3school.com and you will find a lot. Okay, from entering item to building responsive layout, it is incredibly powerful tool. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more web development tutorial. Now go for and flex your CSS skill.